Hello everyone, this is RockAusie1234 with your first tutorial on the simple programming of Python. Now this isn't just an overall programming tutorial, this will just teach you the little bitty programs that you kind of want to be able to make and everything. So let's get started. Well, this first tutorial is going to teach you how to create a converter from Fahrenheit to Celsius and from Celsius to Fahrenheit. It's pretty useful. In our next tutorial, if I have a next tutorial, I hope I do, if this computer doesn't malfunction like it keeps doing, I will have a tutorial on the circumference of a circle. It'll find that for you. So, yeah, it'll be cool. But anyway, I guess we could get started. If you notice, I'm not using the Python idle. It keeps malfunctioning, and I don't really know why. It just keeps doing that. And so I'm gonna have to use Notepad. Stinks. But bear with me. Alright. First thing you want to do is print. Now, print displays on the screen, okay? It's pretty simple to be able to notice that. But now I'm gonna type for Fahrenheit to Celsius. Press 1. For Celsius to Fahrenheit, press 2. Okay. Now you're thinking, oh man, this is gonna stink. Now I'm gonna have to do all these inputs, and you know what? You're going to have to do input, but it's a real basic one. There's not going to be any weird symbols at all. I do the most basic way of doing it. Okay? So bear with me. Set your variable. It can be X or anything. I'm just doing that. And now type raw underscore input. Okay? Raw underscore input, not just input. Make it raw input so it can have an if statement to be able to put on it. We need an if statement, or else we can't trigger the program after you type in 1 or 2. So it's got to be raw input. Now type 1 or 2 just to refresh their little memories. 1 or 2. And now if statement. If X, or whatever you set your variable X to, it equals 2 equal signs, or else you'll be setting the variable over again and it won't work. If X equals 1, okay? Now type a colon, okay? The colon. Now after that, make sure it's indented. Notepad doesn't indent it by itself, but now our Fahrenheit machine, or whatever you want to call it. This is going to, we're going to set a variable, but this time we're going to set it to input. Input just does numbers. Raw input does words, strings, lines of text. Numbers, we only use input when actually dealing with actually adding. You can use raw input for numbers, but it's not as effective unless you're just wanting to print a number out on the screen, not even do anything. If you just want to print it out on the screen and it not being able to add or anything. You can't make Python do any mathematical thing with raw input with numbers. Okay, so make it input, and then type in Fahrenheit colon space. That space is very important. Space in both the 1 or 2 and the Fahrenheits. Okay, you got to make sure you have that. Now make sure it's indented again, and type C equals, and now we put a parentheses, F, or whatever you named this variable over here that has the input on it, minus 32, okay? F minus 32. That's all we want. Now we're going to multiply that. Yes, we're going to multiply it by 9/5, I believe. 5/9 actually. No, 5/9. Okay? We got to make sure we have that, or else it won't work. Now, indent it again after you do that, and type print C, or whatever you labeled this one right here that we just said all those mathematical things for. Now you should have a full functional program, so when you press 1, it'll go to a Fahrenheit input and you can type all that in. Now you can stop it right there if you just want Fahrenheit to Celsius. But if you want Celsius to Fahrenheit, follow me. Now don't indent on this one. Just keep it simple. Elif, as in else if, x equals 2. 2 for Celsius to Fahrenheit. Indent it again. Make sure it is indented. Every time there's a colon, the reason you have to indent that is it means if. It's because it's an if statement. If that equals 2, then pretty much the colon means then. And then everything that's indented is what will happen. Everything that isn't indented is going to go along with the ifs, elifs, the x, the print, and everything. So you got to make everything that does in there, okay? Now put C, or whatever you think Celsius should be, and then input, parentheses, and inside there, make sure there's quotation marks whenever you're doing text, at all, every time. Celsius, colon, space, indent again, remember that, always remember that, F, or whatever you want to name the Fahrenheit variable to, and now, type C star, as in multiply. That's what multiply is, the star. Now, in the star, type 9/5. See, the other one was 5/9. This one's 9/5. Pretty cool. Now, plus sign and 32. How easy does that get? Now, press enter again, indent if you don't have the idle, which actually indents that for you, and print F. Now, if you're opening this with the command prompt, you're going to want this line, raw _ input, like that, in the parameters, or parentheses, whatever you want to call them, type press greater than, less than sign, and then greater than sign, enter. So it'll pause and then leave. Now, when we go to save it, save it as all files, and save it as F2C if you want, Fahrenheit to Celsius, .py. That .py is very, very important. Now that that's done, where is that F2C? There it is, up there. Now it says, for Fahrenheit to Celsius, for Fahrenheit to Celsius, press 1. For Celsius to Fahrenheit, press 2. Let's press 1. Fahrenheit. Now, if you really study all the Fahrenheit and Celsius, you'll know that 32 degrees Fahrenheit is freezing, and that's 0 degrees. So now let's type 32. 0. 0 is the degrees Celsius. Press enter, and it's left. So, yeah, that's it. It'll work the same with that, with Celsius. Oh yeah. Now with Celsius, you type 2, and you could type 100, just to make sure I didn't just set it to 32 to trick you people. Type 100, it should say 212, because that's boiling temperature of Fahrenheit. 212. Boom. It's done. It's complete. That is a Rockazzy 1, 2, 3, 4 tutorial for you guys, and I appreciate your patience with me, and, well, bye.